Good evening, everyone. Can you just tell me in the chat whether you are able to hear me? Is my voice clear? Okay, thank you, Tejas, for confirming. We'll start in just 2 minutes. We'll start exactly at 6 p.m. So some students are yet to join. So we'll start in just 2 minutes. Okay. Good evening, all of you. First of all, I would like to thank everyone who have joined this particular session. So we had been getting a lot of questions about AWS and how to become a AWS developer, cloud computing using AWS, and a lot of students wanted to know how to proceed in this particular direction. As this is a trending technology, and a lot of companies are asking for this particular skill from students. And if you are having this particular skill, definitely it will become you can differentiate yourself from the crowd during any particular interview process. So today we have with us Mr. Shailesh Dinde sir, who is an expert in AWS development and cloud computing using AWS. So we got in touch with him, and we are lucky to have him today. And out of his busy schedule, he is ready to share AWS knowledge with all of you. So I would just ask Shailesh to take over, and he will introduce himself in a better way, what exactly he's currently doing and all the other stuff. And also the entire session will be carried out by him. So first, during the session, just listen to whatever Shailesh sir says, and at the end we'll have a Q&A as well. So whatever queries you are having regarding this particular technology, he will answer that. Okay, so over to you, Shailesh sir.
Yeah, thank you, Amit.
Yes.
Hi everyone, hi students. So today is the great opportunity for me to introduce the trending technology in the IT field is on the AWS. Okay, so my name is Shailesh. I am working in the IT industry more than 8 years on the various platform on AWS, on web development, mobile development, and automation testing environments. So in the IT industry, so trending topics are related to the IT industries are different web development front end technologies, back end technologies, and according to same front end and back end development, there is a another scope for the AWS and cloud computing developments. So today we are looking for that. So what are the different web development and other technologies which are used. So today's our agenda is related to the introduction to cloud computing, then introduction to Amazon Web Services, then why we need to study AWS rather than other cloud service providers, as well as we looking for the what are the different career roadmaps in AWS. So what are the different certifications are available in AWS, how we can achieve those certification, and what will get benefits after completion of that certificate. It's job opportunity. Okay, so we talking about the job opportunities in the AWS, and then we will have the question answer sessions. If you have any queries and any doubts related to the career and AWS services related, then we will discuss those topics. Okay. So first of all, we start with the cloud computing. So everywhere after the corona impact, everyone is using a cloud applications, and every schools, colleges, and every small business owners or shopkeepers are always are started to use cloud application. So cloud computing is in trending because on cloud computing, the on-demand delivery means whenever you use any applications, or if you wanted to deploy any application, whenever you require on instant basis, you will get all the IT resources. Whenever, for example, whenever we wanted to host any website or any application, we need web application servers, means we require different kinds of servers. So in that case, we immediately get different kinds of servers available on the AWS. Okay, so but one more advantage of the AWS or cloud computing is you can pay for the pay as you go and prices model. Means whenever you use the application or service, then only you need to pay. So in that case, you don't need to buy for the one entire year, or for subscription for the 1 month, 2 months, or 1 year, something like that. You just need to, if you wanted to use for the one day only, or for 1 hour only, so you need to just pay for that one particular hour. So that is the main advantage of the cloud computing. So in that cloud computing, you can pay as you go. Means if you use your particular services for 1 hour, then you can pay for only 1 hour. So that is the main advantage. Then next, you can provision exactly the right type of size of computing. Means there are more than 200 services are available on AWS. So you can use any kind of services on the cloud. Means if you wanted to interested to the deploy your IoT applications, machine learning applications, web development related applications, anything. So you can deploy your as per your requirement. You can choose the different kinds of server configuration, and you can deploy your own application on the AWS. So whatever size, doesn't matter. If you wanted to have the or you required, suppose 128 GB RAM, or more than that, 1 TB or 2 TB hard disk storage space is required, then all these things are available on the cloud computing. So whatever you required, it's all things are available on the cloud. Then you can access your many resources as you need, and almost instantly. The most important in these things is instantly. Means why I said instantly, because once we purchase anything on in online e-commerce platform, then we need to wait for 2 to 3 days minimum to reach that particular product at our home delivery. But in cloud computing, whenever you require any service related to your application on cloud computing, within a 1 or 2 minute, that service will be ready for you, or ready to use for your applications. Means whenever you request for a particular service, then immediately you will get the service ready for your application. So that is the most important feature as well as in cloud computing. So the simple way to access the server, storage, database, and set up different applications and services. Means on cloud computing, you will get different kinds of services. We will see that what kind of services we will get on the cloud computing, how we can use that particular services, how we can improve our business applications, or whatever we have, any kind of application, IoT application, machine learning, or even blockchain application, how we can improve our performance, and how we can use cloud services to make our business, or make our better experience to our customers. So why we need to use the cloud computing? So in the market, there are so many cloud service providers are there. The AWS is there, then Microsoft having the Azure, cloud is there, then Google Cloud is there, then IBM Cloud is there, then so many cloud services providers are there. So why we need to use that service provider? So why we need to use cloud service provider is because suppose if we have our own data center, or if we or in earlier stages, whenever the computing technologies are growing in earlier stages, in that on that time, what we need to happen, suppose our we have one company, or we need to start our deploy any new applications or any new web services. In that case, we need to purchase the particular hardware or particular server for our application, and we need to maintain our data center, or our maintain our own server. So for that purpose, we need to pay rent for our data center. Whatever data center we have, we need to pay for that. As well as we need, for that particular data center, we need to have provide all the facilities. So for example, we need to provide a power supply, as well as if power supply is cut, then we need to provide backup for that power supply, then cooling systems required for the our servers, then we need to maintain particular that particular server, or as well as we need to human resource for to maintaining all the our IT services or server infrastructure. So we require different kind of human resources for network administrator or network security engineer. So lots of human resources are required to maintain our data centers. Okay. So then next, whenever we required more infrastructure, or whenever we wanted to change our infrastructure, so in that time we need to make some changes in that particular on that particular duration. Our services will be impacted for 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever time is required to replace our existing hardware, or sometimes due to the power failure or some network issues. If you're facing some issues, in that case, we will take some times to handle that particular situation. So that are the some problems with the traditional IT approaches. Then one more approach is related to the scaling limitations. Scaling limitations means, suppose if you wanted to improve, means your customers base is improve in our e-commerce website. Suppose if you are using Flipkart applications, or some Netflix applications, suppose whenever new web series is launched on the Netflix, so all the people are started to watching that particular web series, so automatically crowd will be a increase, or number of web requests are increase on your web application or mobile application. So in that case, you need to handle all these requests, otherwise your application will be a crash, or our you might be possible your server will be a crash. So scaling limitation in limitation is in currently IT approaches. Okay. So then next is we need to hire 24 by 7, as we already discussed that human resource is required to monitor our servers or data centers. Mean 24 by 7 we need to monitor our servers. If anything happen with our server, we need to immediately need to fix that particular issue on our server, because otherwise our client will not access our server, or will not access the our application. So we need to hire 24 by 7 team for the dedicated team for the handling issues on the server or data center. So the next important major issue is related to the disaster. What if everything is fine with our means we hire the human resources, we have the different data centers with the maximum limit of the hardware. But what if any disaster happen, means it's related to the power shutdown or earthquake or fire or anything. So we cannot control this kind of situation. So in that case, your server will be your server needs to, or your data center needs to have some backup plan, or some
Hello, Shailesh. Guys, there is some technical issue at Shailesh's end. So just give me a minute. I think he will join back and share the screen. So we are having a power outage due to storms right now at our area. So just give me a minute.
Hi Amit, I am audible.
Yeah, you are audible now. Just share the screen and then continue.
Yeah, just a minute. Yeah. So something disaster will happen with your services, then you cannot control that particular services.
Shailesh,
Uh,
screen is not visible.
uh, okay.
Uh, you can just stop and start again, maybe. Stop this.
Yeah. Now it's visible. Hello. Hello.
Yes, it's visible, Shailesh. You can start now.
Yeah. Okay. So suppose the current situation in the my location is that the power cut due to the some reason. So these kind of situation we cannot handle on the server. So for that purpose, this is the traditional problems, or this is the we currently facing the such problems in the real time, that if the any power shutdown or any earthquake fire is there, so our IT services will get impacted. So to avoid these kind of services, we need to use our cloud computing. Okay. So nowadays we are using in day-to-day life, we are using so many applications. That applications are already hosted on the cloud computing. The famous one is the G Suite or Google Suite we are using for our education purpose or daily purpose. We are using mail, Google, uh, from the Google, then Google Drive we are using, then Google Calendar we are using, then same time we are using the Google Sheet and other Google Docs from the Google Sheet. So same, the another application is the Dropbox. We are using application for the storage of the or storage our data on the Dropbox, whatever the file we have, the multimedia content on the Dropbox. So we can use that Dropbox. This Dropbox is also deployed on the AWS. Then the most important or most popular application which we are using is the Netflix. So on already so many web services are deployed on the Netflix, and these web services we are using on demanded basis, means video demand services available on the AWS. So we are using that AWS services on or this application on our mobile application mobile. Okay. So there are different models are available in cloud computing. So there are total three models are there. One is the private cloud, then public cloud, and the hybrid cloud. So in private cloud, we are using the private cloud is related to the or belongs to the single organization. It's not accessible to the public crowd or public users. So this is specially designed cloud for the particular organization. So in that case, the complete control or security or sensitive of applications is completely organized or maintained by that particular company or that particular organizations. Means we cannot access that particular cloud without permission of that particular private cloud. And these private clouds are used by some specific businesses, those who are having the security related issues, or those who are handling with the sensitive applications or sensitive data. Those who are they are using the private cloud. So Rackspace is one of them service provider for the private cloud. So if you require the private cloud, then they are providing by the Rackspace. Then the most important or most widely used is the public cloud. So in public cloud, everyone can create account on that particular website or web applications and use their services. So in that public cloud, anyone can use any services on the cloud as per the whatever the services they require. So there are some public cloud service providers are Amazon Web Services, then Google Cloud is there, then Microsoft Azure is there, then IBM Cloud is there, then other cloud services providers are there. But these threes are most popular and most demanding cloud service providers in public cloud computing. So after that, there is a one mixture of that public cloud and private cloud, because some companies require their data should be stored at their location or their data center, and some of data should be on the public cloud. So in that case, the hybrid cloud is used. Means suppose the bank application is there. So in bank application, the bank will store all his customers data on their cloud, means on their private cloud, and they are just using some services from the Amazon or some services from the Google. So that will be a mixture of some services from the public cloud and some services from the private cloud. So that is called as a hybrid cloud. So in hybrid cloud, the whatever the sensitive information is there, that will be stored on the their private cloud, and whatever web applications or mobile applications are there, that will be deployed on their public cloud. So these are the three different models we have in cloud computing: that private cloud, public cloud, and hybrid cloud. The maximum use of these among these is the public cloud. Okay, so what are the problems resolved by the cloud? So already we discussed that what are the challenges we are facing in traditional IT approaches. So all these problems are resolved in cloud computing. The first problem we resolve is the flexibility, means we can request any resources at any time. Then next one is the cost effective. The why we need to it's called as a cost effective, because the first important thing is pay as you go. Means whenever we require any services, if we use for 1 hour, then we can pay only for that particular 1 hour. If we use any services for 1 month, then we can pay only for the 1 month. So we need no need to buy any subscription or any cloud services for the 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, or for the minimum 1 month. There is no something like that. If we use the service, then only we can pay. If we stop the service, then no need to pay anything to the cloud service provided. So it's cost effective. That's it, the first. And the second one, we don't need to buy any hardware at our own place. Means if we started any business or any web application, so we don't need to buy any hardware or any service engineer to we don't need to hire any service engineer. So that's why we save our cost on the human resource as well as the on hardware infrastructure. So that will be a cost effective. Then scalability. In the scalability, we can improve our server performance at any time. We will get a service within 1 or 2 minutes. If we require maximum server capability, then we just need to request to cloud service provider. Then immediately after 1 or 2 minutes, you will get your new hardware with your configuration. So you can improve your hardware infrastructure at any time, as well as same time you can reduce your hardware infrastructure after if you are not necessary, or if there is no use, then you can easily reduce your hardware infrastructure. So then high availability and fault tolerance. So all the data centers are maintained by the cloud service provider. So no need to care about the securities, and no need to care about the power outage or any other thing. So you just need to focus on your application. So any backend related or infrastructure related services, you don't need to care about that. You just need to care about your applications. All these things are maintained by the cloud service providers. So that will be a beneficial for the users. And the agility, so rapidly we can develop our application, test our applications, and launch our application. Means in IT industry there are three different environments are there: test environment, then production environment. So in that case we can use our develop environment, we can use application in different environments, we can test it and redeploy it automatically. So that is the problems, whatever the problems we are facing the traditional IT approaches, we are all the problems we are resolved by the cloud computing. So in these are the some advantages of the cloud computing. So you can easily start your applications with the minimum cost. Means suppose if you wanted to host any applications on the cloud, then you can start from the $1 only. Means your application or your server will started from the minimum for your application or hardware infrastructure is the minimum $1 or even less than $1. So you can start your services, or we will see how we can get the any services, what is the cost of the services. So we will see that. So there are three types of cloud computing provide or different services provided by the cloud. Is the infrastructure as a service, then platform as a service, and the software as a service. So all the services mean on Amazon or Google Cloud or Azure Cloud, they are providing n number of services. So they are just categorize their services in three different types. So they are providing the different services. They are just categorized these services in the infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and the software as a service. So as in infrastructure as a service, they will just provide the hardware. Means they are just providing your to you as a CPU. Then you can install any operating system on that particular CPU. You can deploy your any application, whatever the application developed by you in Python, PHP, .NET, whatever programming language you use. So you can deploy your own application. Suppose you wanted to deploy your application on Windows, then you can choose operating system as a Windows. If you want to use Ubuntu, then you can use Ubuntu, Linux. There are so many operating systems are available. So you can install any operating system, you can use any programming language over there. Means they just provide the hardware to you. You can perform any operations with your hardware. So this considered as the infrastructure as a service. So in platform as a service, they will provide a platform, means hardware plus any technology. Hardware plus any technology. Suppose if you have if you develop as a PHP application, so cloud service providers will provide the hardware plus the PHP environment where we can deploy our application. Suppose our application is designed with the Python programming, then they will provide the operating system plus Python environment. If we develop our application with the uh, Java programming, then they are providing the hardware plus the Java environment. So we can easily deploy our application on the cloud service providers. So this considered as the platform as a service. In the platform as a service, there is a burden reduced by cloud service provider that we don't need to configure our environment. They already provided the environment whichever you require. You require Java, then they will provide the Java version. If you require the .NET version, then they will provide the .NET platform, something like that. Then in software as a services, they will completely provide complete applications to you. So you know no need to deploy, or no need to develop any application. You just use a third party applications. Okay, so it's considered as a software as a services. For example, if we are using a Gmail, so Gmail is the is type of software as a service. In that they already develop one application related to the mail. So we are just using that particular application. So in software as a service, everything will be handled by the cloud service provider. In platform as a service, cloud service provider will handle infrastructure and the environment, and we just need to develop our own application. And in infrastructure as a services, the cloud service provider will provide only the hardware. So environment, we need to configure our own environment, as well as we need to develop our own applications. So in infrastructure as a services, you get more flexibility. You can do anything with your environment, but you need to configure it manually. But in platform as a services, you get less flexibility, but you will get more services from the cloud service provider. And in software as a services, you don't need to develop anything. You just buy the services from the cloud service providers. So these are the three different types of cloud computing. Uh, so, uh, so today we are focusing on the most of the services from the Amazon. So why we need to provide or why we focusing on the Amazon, we will see that. So basically, first we will see that the history of the AWS or Amazon Web Services. So Amazon launched their AWS Cloud as a services since 2016. They are just start with the EC2 instance, Elastic Compute Cloud Services. After that they are starting or improvise their systems and so on. They started improving the different services. Recently they added related to the robotic services, machine learning related services, IoT related services, blockchain related services. Means AWS is continuously improvise their services and adding new features to their customers. So they are continuously improvise their cloud services and providing the better services to their customers. So what are the different services provided by the cloud computing? So there are so many, more than I think 200 services are there. So those 200 services provided by the AWS cloud. So in that cloud services, they are categorized. Some of the services means some services are related to the analytics. Suppose if you wanted to work in the big data or data science, then you can use that particular analytics services. Then if you wanted to work on the blockchain related services, then you can use the blockchain related services. If you wanted to use a database, then you can use the different types of database. Suppose if you want to use SQL database, means MySQL database or SQL Server database, PostgreSQL database, then you can use the their that particular services. If you wanted to use NoSQL services, then you can use Amazon DynamoDB or MongoDB. You can use these kind of NoSQL databases on the AWS. Then if you wanted to use IoT related applications, or if you wanted to implement IoT related applications, then there are so many services are available on the AWS related to the Internet of Things. Then there are machine learning services are also there. So in machine learning services, video analysis, text analysis. Suppose if you wanted to get text from the image, then you can easily get that. Suppose if you wanted to face recognition kind of services, or something machine learning related service. So many machine learning services are available in the AWS. So you can directly call their APIs and no need to write any code. You just call their APIs in your application and you can start your application. So that is the main advantage of the machine learning services. Then suppose if you wanted to start your application something like that Netflix, then you can use the media services. So in that you can start your streaming applications. Suppose if you wanted to use the storage service, and then there are some kind of storage services are there, robotics related services are there, quantum technology related services are there. So total 200 services with the different identity and security is there provided to all these 200 services. And one more feature is there, cost management is also there. Suppose if you wanted to manage your cost, or you need to check what will be a price. Means suppose if you wanted to start using any blockchain application, so you need to start with the blockchain service. So what cost will be after 1 month, you will get the cost for the 1 month. Then what will be a cost if you getting the more request on that particular service. So everything is available on the AWS. So no need to worry about the cost. And if you wanted to limit your uh, users, then you can also limit your users. You can maintain your users with the different security levels, as well as control levels are there. So you can manage that also on your AWS cloud. So these different services are provided by the AWS. So then why we check that different services provided by the AWS, but why we need to AWS? Because other competitors are also there, means Microsoft Azure is there, Google Cloud is there, IBM Cloud is there, other cloud services providers are there, but why we need to go with the AWS? So first reason is that in the market there are 47% or more than 45% market share of AWS. Means in IT industry currently more than 40 to 45% you are using AWS. Means they are for their application deployment, to providing different services to their customers. Different IT organizations are using AWS. Means they are preferring AWS to deploy their applications. Then next one is the Microsoft having the 22%. Means AWS having the twice than the Microsoft. Means the maximum share in the market is the AWS. That is the first reason. Then second, according to the means there are more than 1 million active users related to the uh, means there are active users on the AWS. Then they're having the annual revenue of 30.5 billions in 2019. So is continuously improvise their annual revenues. So AWS offering more than 200 fully functional services on their platform. Means all the services are on the web platform. You can use any services at any time, 24/7. All the services are available uh, on the internet. So that is the great advantage or great things by the AWS, that they are providing higher rate of fully functional services. That is the more than 200, and as well as the most of the big companies like Facebook, Netflix, Adobe, BBC, they are rely on the AWS. Means they are deploy their applications and provide the different services to their customers with the help of AWS. So already we are know that the Netflix is there, so they are using the different services from the AWS, and provide the service to their customers. So then the cost effective, if we consider the cost for our application, or if we start our own business, then if we wanted to get minimum cost for the or hardware or service deployment, so in that case also AWS having lower rates compared to the Google Cloud and the Microsoft Azure. So in that scenario as well, so AWS will provide the services in the least cost. In India, so recently they just launched the Amazon service center in the Hyderabad as well. Means previously we have the service center in the Mumbai only, but recently they launched their data center in Hyderabad as well. So the worldwide there are 77 availability zones are there, and the worldwide different new data centers are started and launching by the AWS in different countries, India, Switzerland, Japan, and other countries. So that is the main reasons why we need to use the AWS, or why we need to learn AWS for the student. Means why, what are the different scopes for the AWS? So these are the different reasons why we need to study AWS. So that are the most popular technology as well, then most demanding technology, because every or Then next, there are different job opportunities are available uh, in the AWS. So in the AWS, you can different job opportunities are related to the architecting, developing, operations, cloud, and specialty. So in architect, the AWS cloud architect job profile is there. Then system operation administrator job profile is there. Then cloud developer is there. Then cloud DevOps engineer job role is there. Then cloud software engineer role is there. Then AWS network specialist is there. Then AWS system integrator is there. So AWS big data and specialist is there. Then AWS machine learning specialist there. AWS IoT specialist is there. So these are the different services or the certifications are available on the AWS. So you have the different, if you are interested in the DevOps, if you are interested to the machine learning, if you are interested to the IoT, so accordingly you can complete your certifications and go with the certification for the job opportunity. So you will get the specific or domain specific certifications in AWS, because they are providing that particular services or in the various domain services in the various domains. So you can specialize in the only machine learning, you can specialize in IoT, you can specialize in the data science, something like that, or you can build up your career in the AWS. So many job opportunities are available in the AWS. So you just need to decide your path, what you need wanted to interested. So for that, everything, the cloud practitioner certification or cloud basic is the important. So that will be covered by us in the next few days. So from the tomorrow onwards, we start our sessions on the cloud, AWS cloud. So in that part, we are covering the basic requirement for all these require certification. Means if you wanted to DevOps engineer or big data specialist, machine learning specialist, or whatever as a cloud developer or cloud architect. So for this kind of certification, we required the cloud practitioner or some basic knowledge of the cloud computing. So we can cover all these basics in our next few days, and then you can start career on these different technologies. Then these are the some basic certifications are there. The cloud practitioner is the foundational or basic cloud certification. Then there are the cloud architect, cloud developer, and system operation related certifications are there. So if you become a cloud architect if you completed the cloud solution architect, then you can become a professional solution architect. Or if you completed the system administrator, then DevOps engineer, next level for the DevOps engineer, you can get that certification. If you wanted this if you wanted to complete this special certification or specialty certifications, so there are the different certifications are available related to that is advanced networking, data analytics in the database. If you wanted to become a machine learning specialist, then that related certifications are available. Then security related certifications are available. Then SAP related certifications are available. So cloud is AWS is providing various kind of certification to the students, to the all the IT resources or IT person. So you can become a specialization in particular services. So these are the different service certifications are provided by the AWS. For all the certification, we require some basic knowledge or related to that cloud practitioner certification or cloud basic cloud for the AWS required. So we are focusing that the basic. If you get the basic knowledge related to the all the certification and all the services, how we can use the cloud, how we can get cost effective services from the AWS, how we can launch our services, how we can use that services, how we can maintain the security, how we can use the virtual private network, how we can maintain the security for our whatever we configure the services. So that will be covered in our next few days or next uh, then we can then you can start exploring the more services on the AWS and get the certification. This all the certifications are available in the AWS. all is AWS, or you can get the exam. You can take the exam, or you can purchase the ticket on the AWS, and then you can complete that exam. If you pass with the 80%, then you will get the certifications. Means to pass the examination, you need to complete your minimum 75%. Some certifications having 80%. So minimum you some for the some certification you need to 75%, and some certifications are required 80%. Then only you can pass. So these are the some basic certifications or for the cloud in or cloud computing in AWS. So if you have any questions, then please ask. Amit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shailesh, there are some questions. So, one student is
Yes.
asking whether cloud computing involves coding.
Yeah. Because if you wanted to become a DevOps engineer or the network administrator level services, in that case, you need to use some batch processing or some Python programming. So in that case, you need to use uh, a Python or a batch processing. But you require the that programming language, the basic programming language.
Okay. So, guys, if you have got any questions related to today's session or related to AWS cloud computing, you can just drop in the chat. Okay. So that Shailesh can answer those queries. Shailesh, you can keep sharing your screen.
Okay.
Okay. One student is asking regarding salaries, basically.
Yeah, that is the good question related to salary, because we are everything is looking for the what we get after, means after we completion of certification or after we learning the AWS, what we will get. So as a developer, if you wanted to join as a developer with AWS practitioner course or some basics of AWS, so for the as a developer, if you join as any developer, Java developer, backend developer, front end developer with AWS, suppose if you wanted to DevOps engineer, then you will get more than 10 lakhs. Or according to your specialization, again, if you are learning, I'm just telling about the minimum salary. If you as per the company standard, you will get the more salary as well if you are specialization in particular technology.
Okay.
If you are
Okay.
specialization in particular technology.
Okay. One student is asking, does freshers 2023 batch pass out, like the students who are going to graduate in next month, so are considered for AWS job roles? So whether freshers directly get AWS related jobs?
Yeah, definitely. If you have the knowledge of the AWS, if you have the certification of the AWS, because this AWS certification provided globally, means it's not
Hmm.
only applicable in India, so it's accepted by all over global. So if and the most important thing in the certification is that if you pass with the 75% or 80%, then only you will get the certification. Means it's not related to like our college, or if you get the 40% only, then also we are passing. But it's not like that. The certification will get after only if you're having the 80% knowledge. If you get the 80% marks, then only get the certification. So if you have that 80% knowledge, then you can easily get the job. So fresher can also considered for the job. It doesn't matter that you are fresher or 1 year experience, 2 year experience, but all the opportunities for the freshers are
Okay.
there.
Okay. One student is asking, he's in third year right now, and his placements are going to start in next 3 to 4 months, and he is going to give his practitioner exam at the May end. So will that certificate be considered by company as it is basic certificate?
Yeah. Definitely, it will be a really great for him that if you pass with the cloud practitioner and during
Mhm.
his campus recruitment, he will get extra advantage for that because he will be considered means
Shailesh, I think there is some
extra
issue
knowledge
at your
related to
end.
the AWS cloud or any such.
Okay, okay, okay. So one student is asking about the course which we are going to start from tomorrow. Like, what is the duration and what all will be covered by that in that particular thing. So, guys, we are starting with our AWS cloud computing course from tomorrow. So it will be consider starting in the morning actually. So you can just we have also put in the link for that particular course. So Shailesh, if you are connected, just give some details about the duration of the course.
Yeah, duration is the 20 hours. So we are conducting 2 hours daily. So it's for the 10 days. So in that during we are covering the basic requirement or the basic web services which are provided by the AWS, which will be required to the cloud practitioner certification. It's not complete all the cloud practitioner certification, but whatever the basic 40 to 50% cloud practitioner services we will cover in our session, and that services are helpful to deploy your own applications, deploy your own projects for third year final year projects. So you can deploy your projects on the cloud. You can deploy your if you have any applications or business ideas, so you can deploy your application on the cloud. So for related to that, we can cover all the services, so you can easily start your applications on AWS.
Okay. There is one student, she says that I have completed certificates in AWS Cloud Practitioner with 90%. But she is a fresher and she filled the form and some requirements were there, but they want experienced people and they don't take fresher. So is there any way, is there any misunderstanding with her or is she going somewhere wrong in applying? So
Yeah.
what exactly is the
Maybe
case?
she need to check that whether the job she need to check that the job requirement exactly job requirement. If they require the experienced person, so she in that case she need to have some kind of experience 1 or 2 years. But most of the companies are all the specifications are mentioned in the job description what kind of experience they require. So maybe she's applying the wrong job role, or she need to apply for the freshers jobs only because she don't have any experience in IT industries. So she need to
Okay.
check that the job description and then need to apply.
Okay. So is there any validity to this particular certificate once they get it from AWS?
Yeah. They're according to the different certification, the certifications having the different validity, 3 to 5 years.
Mhm.
So you can renew it, or you can repass the examinations. But if you
Okay.
having the higher certification, so in that case no need to repass the lower certifications. If you have the
Okay.
higher certification, in that case it's okay, no problem.
Okay. So guys, those who are interested to pursue more in this particular thing, we are starting with our AWS certification course from tomorrow morning. So I have already shared the link for that in the chat box, and the cost of it would be 499. There would be 20 hours of training, which would consist of project as well as 2 hours of daily lectures. And if you miss the lecture, you will get recording of that particular live session. So those who are interested can also get in touch with us later if you have got any queries. And currently, if you have got any queries related to this particular session, you can ask, or else we can stop this particular session. So we'll just wait for a minute, Shailesh, and if there are any queries, I'll let you know. Otherwise, we can end the session.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So one student is asking, can you give me some project ideas on which I can work from placement point of view?
So no need to have any idea, because if you have the second year project, third year project, or final year project, you can just deploy this project on the AWS. That's it. That will be a great for to mention all these things in the resume.
Okay.
So
Shailesh, one student is asking, what would be the
anytime.
time for the morning class tomorrow?
I think it
Hello.
defined 7 to 9 in the morning.
Okay. Okay. Gautam, the time would be 7 to 9, 2 hours. Okay. And one student is asking from where we can get the certificates of AWS. Like directly they have to register for the exam on AWS website.
Yeah. On the AWS website, they are provided all the details related to the certifications and the practice exam as well.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I think there are no more queries, guys. If any of your queries are remaining, or if you want anything to ask later on, you can message Talent Battle team, and we can get in touch with Shailesh and get your queries cleared. So we'll stop this session for today. And those who are interested, you can just join in on the given link which I have posted in the chat box. Okay. So thank you all of you once again for joining, and thank you Shailesh for coming in live to share this particular information with our students. Thank you once again.
Yeah,
Thank you all of you.
yeah. Thank you everyone. Thank you. Bye.